welcome everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. And of course, I am your host, DBoss. And I just hope everybody's been doing their 15 minutes of laughing, because that releases all the endorphins, all the toxins, different things in your body. It heals your body when you laugh. Also brings down your blood pressure, and it also tones your abs. And it does so many health benefits to laughing. Now, a lot of people might say they may not have anybody to laugh with, but you could call somebody, put something on, do your due diligence. It can warm up your vocal cords, and all the necessary things that laughing does. So if you do your minimum of 15 minutes, I'm happy with everybody. And also it keeps you looking youthful. All right. So we're going to be right back with one of our special guests with health. It's on health. And we're going to hear something from our sponsor, Joanne James, Vital Steps to Vital Health. And we'll be right back.
Welcome to your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. I'm Joanne James. Today we're going to talk about the effects of no exercise on the muscles. Many people are spending a lot of time sitting at their desk and not exercising, as well as the internet has taken people out of the exercise realm and into sitting down and playing games on their phones. There's a major detriment to not exercising. When you don't exercise, your muscles become weak, and that impacts your bones. So now you have both weak muscles and weak bones. The other problem is you lose strength, and the daily activities that you like to do become more difficult. So it's important to be doing some form of exercise to keep the muscles toned. And thirdly, your body composition will change. You will end up getting more body fat and less muscle mass, which then tends to be unattractive, and you lose energy and you become more fatigued. So do yourself a favor. Get into a great exercise routine. Find somebody who can put you on a great program. Your body's going to love it. I'm Joanne James, and this has been your Vital Steps to Better Health and Fitness. Take care.
Well, thank you for that tip. Your vital health, the vital steps to vital health tip. And, get out there, you people, move around. You're sitting down a lot, and all of us are sitting down on the phones. You're sitting on here. You have to get up every so often, get up and move. I'm bad for it, because sometimes I'm sitting here, I'm interviewing a lot of people, and, finding out, then I realize, wait, I've been sitting down for 2 hours. So, get up, do some kind of movement, even if you got to put a timer. All right. Well, today I have a special guest on, and he's going to be talking about a serious health concern and things that's happening here. And it's the WALNUT Foundation and their men's health interest and prostate cancer support group. So we're going to find out why they wanted to start the group, all the other stuff, because that is a big health concern. And, and some men, they don't want to get that tested. But we're going to find out from him exactly everything that's going on and all about it. So with no further ado, I introduce to you Anthony Henry, the president.
Good morning. Thanks for a good day wherever you are. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here to share our experiences.
All right. Well, here at Real Life Matters, Anthony, we like to know everybody's cultural background and where they come from.
Mm-hmm. So myself, I hail from Jamaica originally. Spent 15 years of my life there, and I've lived in Canada ever since.
Okay.
I am 62 years old today. So
it's your birthday?
But this year.
Is it your birthday today?
Not today, no. Every day.
I was thinking, well, maybe it's your birthday.
No, not my birthday.
Well, every day can be your birthday.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
All right. Well, your organization, like you're talking about things that people don't want to talk about, and or hear about or know about. So tell us why you started this organization for men with prostate cancer.
So the organization was actually started by Dr. Winston Isaac.
Okay.
Who was a professor at Ryerson University, now called TMU, Toronto Metropolitan University. So he headed up the School of Health Sciences Management there. When he was diagnosed, as somebody who's in the healthcare space, he felt like he didn't know enough about prostate cancer. And so he felt like, if I'm feeling this way, like a fish out of water, what about the others?
Okay.
So he got together with Simon Samuels and some others and decided to set up this group to share our experiences, share the experiences of men who've been impacted by prostate cancer with other men, other Black men, so to speak.
Okay.
So that was the genesis of the WALNUT Foundation.
Okay, so but a lot of people, even to this day, they know about it. You know, what is the biggest fear for men going to get checked?
Well, you know, a big part of the issue with prostate cancer, or getting screened for that matter, is that, you know, issues to do with anything below the waist for men, you know, impacts on their sexuality and their machismo. So we don't want to go there.
Okay.
However, the statistics tells us that us men from the Caribbean, or with a Caribbean heritage, or West African heritage, have a higher incidence for prostate cancer.
Okay.
We're 76% more likely to be diagnosed and twice as likely to die from it. So it's something we have to be aware of and be proactive about.
All right. So some people won't know. So, like, what are some of the symptoms of it? Well, so that people could be, you know, maybe know, because some people don't know what the symptoms are of it. So,
unfortunately, if we're waiting around for symptoms with prostate cancer, it might be too late.
Right.
Because some of the symptoms tend to mimic other issues. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, one potential would be, frequency urinating.
Okay.
But that's not indicative of prostate cancer per se. It could be, an infection, a urinary tract infection, for example.
Okay.
Right. That's causing you to urinate frequently.
Okay.
Right. You might notice a loss in libido. And again, that might not necessarily be cancer related. Right.
Okay.
Some of the more serious, side effects or symptoms, I guess, would be blood in the urine, blood in the semen, that type of thing. But for those two latter, symptoms, it might indicate that you're advanced prostate cancer.
Okay.
Right.
But some people wouldn't think, maybe if they're going to the bathroom, they might just think it's something else.
Correct. And so that's one of the challenges with it. Now, we do have screening protocols. So it's recommended that men at age 50 begin to screen by way of a blood test. It's called a PSA test.
Okay.
And as well as the DRE, or the digital rectal exam.
Okay.
Right? Where
I think it's maybe the part that the men don't like.
That's the part that the men don't like, right? Because it involves the doctor putting a gloved finger into the rectum to check the surface of the prostate.
Okay.
Right? And of course, a lot of men don't want to get that done, right? So the problem then becomes you don't get checked.
Bigger problem because they didn't want to get that checked because they didn't have anybody doing anything in the rectum area.
Right. So you present to the healthcare system when your disease is, much advanced.
Right.
So we strongly urge Black men, or men in particular, to start screening at age 40.
Okay.
For that PSA, that blood test, right? It's a simple blood test that could indicate that there's a problem.
Okay. So you have to ask your doctor for that specific tests? Okay.
You know, some doctors are
lot of work.
proactive. Some are proactive or more proactive than others.
Okay.
Right? And they're aware of the higher incidences, and they're aware of the screening protocols that says you should start earlier screening.
Okay.
And so they're on it. Others are not as up to speed, right? And so we have this issue of too many of our men showing up at a later stage on the journey, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And that's always the case, because you always hear everybody saying that they don't want to get their prostate checked. They don't want to get that because of the rectum examination. And, but what you're trying to encourage through your organization is to tell people that's just a stigma. It doesn't mean that you are, any of that sexual orientation that people tend to relate that to, but this is for your health. Correct.
And so what we try to do is to share our experiences. Screening is so important,
Okay.
For myself, I started screening at 40. Right?
Okay.
And part of the reason for that is I have a strong family history of prostate cancer.
Wow.
My dad died at age 68.
Okay.
Due to a late diagnosis. And so my brother and I started this early screening regimen, which is so important. My prostate cancer was diagnosed at age 53. My brother, age 57. We have an uncle who was also diagnosed on my father's side. So we've been very proactive on that. And what we do at the WALNUT Foundation is to help to show our men that, life doesn't end with a diagnosis.
Okay.
Right. If you catch it early enough.
Right.
Prostate cancer is treatable. It is a treatable disease on there. So we want to be proactive. We want to get at this thing early enough in the process. And we want to catch those cancers before they escape the prostate gland.
Okay. That's when it spreads into the other parts.
Correct. Because, of course, when it spreads outside of the prostate, it's harder to treat. It gets into the bones, into the lymph nodes, and it's just harder to treat. You have, options that are more difficult to treat. And so we want to try to catch these cancers early enough in the game before they become a problem.
All right. So your support group that you have is for people like yourself that have gone through and came through. So, and so what happens? So when you have been already diagnosed and you've been treated for it, and you're still going to the group, so do you always got to keep checking every time now once you've been diagnosed?
Well, so what the support group aims to do is for men who've been diagnosed and treated, like myself, right? Is for us to share our experiences from a patient perspective. So it provides peer-to-peer support. You've been diagnosed, there are men in the group who have done surgery. There are men who've done radiation, or chemotherapy, or hormone treatment, or some combination of those treatment options. So you can come to the group, learn about that as a way of, engaging with the healthcare system, asking the right questions, and try to get at, what is it about your disease profile, and, how best to deal with your cancer.
Okay.
Right? Because the disease profile is going to impact sort of, how you get at this thing.
Okay. So do you find it, some men who've been diagnosed and stuff, do you find them a little bit reluctant to want to come to the group, or you got to force them, like, come on, you can beat this?
Many of our men are reluctant to come. But, as we have these conversations, like the conversation I'm having with you right now, these kinds of venues help. It's a disease that impacts the whole family.
Right.
And so the women are a big part of, trying to get a change in attitudes. You guys are great ambassadors to groups like the WALNUT Foundation because you help to get the word out. You get to help with the education of the community. So we're aware of our higher incidences. So we are aware of treatment options and just how to cope post-diagnosis. Right?
And and stop holding on to this stigma about with the rectal exam and stuff.
Correct.
You're starting. You try to encourage that because that can save your life.
Of course. Of course. And our men need to understand that a diagnosis doesn't mean death, as it relates to prostate cancer. Right.
Okay.
The problem with prostate cancer is that it impacts erectile dysfunction. It causes incontinence. All right, in varying degrees, and so the issue on there is that some of us are impacted more than others when we're treated, right? But there are ways of dealing with these things.
Okay.
And so by talking to somebody who's been through the process before, then you can have
it makes it a little easier. It's not like you're just talking and you don't know.
Correct. More healthy approaches to how we deal with this thing rather than not dealing with it at all. Right?
Oh, okay. Well, I just hope I commend you and your organization on bringing that, and here at Real Life Matters, we just don't, this is a big issue, a big matter, and and a lot of people have to get out there and get tested, do the exam, ask your doctor for the thing. Don't be afraid because that's the first thing I always hear men talk about is the rectum. So that's why, and and that's the whole thing behind their head that they don't want to do.
I think the important thing is for us to get educated.
Yes.
Right? And I'd recommend that your listeners go to www.thewalnutfoundation.com.
Right.
To learn more. All right. They can email us info@thewalnutfoundation.com.
Okay.
And just generally keep in touch with what's happening at the WALNUT Foundation if you want to know what's happening in this space.
and go and see them. Just don't see. So do you guys do virtual groups, or you just it's more in person?
We have a support group that meets the last Thursday of each month. So you want to get on our mailing list if you want to be a part of that. This is for men only, and you have to appear on camera.
Okay.
We also have monthly meetings, and those are virtual.
Okay.
And sometimes we do them in person. They're held in Brampton, Ontario.
Oh, okay. You guys are in Toronto. Okay.
Correct. We're in Toronto. We also do, seminars and symposiums where we bring in experts in the space to speak. We just had one a couple of weeks ago, where the speakers were talking about how you deal with life after treatment for prostate cancer.
Okay.
So very good. I encourage you folks to go check out our website. In particular, check out our stories at thewalnutfoundation.com.
Okay.
There's a lot of good information there, and we need to educate ourselves. It's so important.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're here today, and people are hearing it, and they're going to spread the word, and obviously people will see this and know that it's a very big concern, and you have to get tested. It doesn't matter, the age, and if you have it in your family, you better get tested. That's what I'm saying. I'm hearing from you here that if you know of people that in your family that's had prostate cancer, then your siblings, your cousins, your relatives, everybody better go and get tested also. Just don't sit back and wait to, as you said, the later stages, then they can't do anything.
Correct. So important for us to educate ourselves Especially, we need to know who our fathers are, right? So important, because family history is a big part of that. Of course, as I said before, your race, very important.
Right.
There, and just do the right thing.
All right. Well, you heard the last word. This is from the president, Anthony Henry of the WALNUT Foundation, everybody. So please do your due diligence, get tested. There's help and there's support, not so much help, but support of what you're going through. And you're talking to people that are going through it and also have been through it. And there's life after prostate cancer. So
you've said it well. There is life after a diagnosis.
And I'm not a medical doctor, people.
You're not a medical, and I'm not medical either. But, we're speaking from experience. We love you, or family, or brothers, or uncles, or fathers, and we have to do what we can to make a difference, for our people. Thank you.
All right. Well, you got to come back and give us some updates, Anthony, after this. Telling us about this.
For sure.
All right. So I do want to say, all right, no problem. I do want to thank everyone for watching tonight about this important matter. And if you missed the episode, then you got to go back and you got to go to the YouTube channel and you can watch it there, DBoss Networks, and you can see it. Share. If you guys don't want to talk about it or you're too, reluctant, you could just put this on and watch, and you'll get all the information. And then you can go to the website and you can email Anthony.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Good night. Thank you for watching.
Take care. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.